Introduce and we'll just freeball it, baby. We don't have
Yeah,
to stick with sports the whole time. We can talk cryptids and shit
we'll do
too.
whatever you want
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
talk
well,
about
I'm
whatever.
free.
Talk about whatever we goddamn please.
Balling.
Yeah, this is my house.
we're live now, right?
Oh yeah,
We've been
yeah,
live
we're
for 13 seconds.
Oh yeah. Okay, folks. So this is another edition of Donnie Cho Says Stuff, starring yours truly, Donnie Cho. And tonight, joining me are my two very special friends, Bigfoot Michigan Rob and Randy of Truth or Tinfoil. And tonight we're going to have very serious, deep discussions about sports and possibly cryptids and maybe some other shit. Who knows? Whatever we fucking feel like it. So, I guess.
Oh, who's the echo coming from?
Oh, we
Mr.
got an
Andrews?
echo. Am I echoing? Yo, am I
I'm not
echoing?
hearing it. So
I don't hear it.
I was the only one talking.
Yeah, I don't really hear much.
hang on. Let me bring up the YouTube. I'll see.
Oh no, who's echoing? Echoing. Oh no, Mr. Anderson said there was no echo. He echoed himself. He had it on two tabs.
Oh, that explains it. Okay.
Yeah, that
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't scare me.
Way to trick us, dude. Anyway,
I do like the two tabbing when there's like two shows on. You like it once, you can toggle back and forth. That is kind of a cool option.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to have a sports-centric show a few months ago with our esteemed colleague here, Rob, but unfortunately, God did not allow it because God decided to send a storm his way and knock out his power. Thanks a lot, God.
Yeah, God.
And so I want to get him on tonight, our sports expert extraordinaire. And first question, Rob.
Yeah.
The question I actually wanted to ask you that last show.
Mm-hmm.
Walk us through your experience of the Detroit Lions last year, making it to the playoff. Give us your own spiritual and personal soul journey of the 2023 season.
Well, I got to tell you, it was probably one of the greatest years of my life. And I'm being serious. The Detroit Lions, as everybody knows, is the has-beens, the laughing stock of the National Football League ever since I was a kid. But I grew up with my father that raised me and my brother on sports. Now, first of all, my dad was a Detroit Tiger fan. So that's his true blue. That's why I even got the tattoo. That's the Tigers, the old English D. That's kind of because my dad died 7-8 years ago. I didn't know what to do. It was kind of a bad time in my life. So I said, well, I'm going to get a tattoo of, for my dad. And I figured that would be the best thing to get.
Yeah.
Because you just don't get random tattoos, right? They all, to me, should have some sort of meaning. So, yeah, this is a meaningful tattoo. So, yeah. But I'm a Tigers fan and my Tigers suck as well. But when he introduced us to football, you guys, me and my brother, that for me was it. And I went through, I've never seen hardly any winning seasons, but still love the Lions. I was one of these guys that watched every single game when they were 0-16. Mm-hmm. I was that fan that watched all the games regardless, So a lot of turmoil with the Lions, and being a big sports fan, I watch them every Sunday with my brother religiously since we've been, we moved out of our houses. We hook up every Sunday, watch the Lions and the NFL. So for them, it started for me though end of last year when we were like 1-2-6. Then we finished out the season like 9-8, and we played the Green Bay Packers on the very last game in 2022. We needed the Rams to beat I think it was the 49ers. I forget. No, they were playing a crappy team and they lost, which eliminated the Lions from the playoffs. So they had to really, so you would think when they played the Packers, they had nothing to play for in Lambeau Field, cold, the tundra, the frozen tundra. Mm-hmm. So me and my brother, they're probably, bummed out. Even if they win, they're not going to the playoffs. And they kicked their ass up and down the field. And it set the tone for the next season. And we went 12-5, won back-to-back playoff games, which we never won a playoff game.
What year was that one?
Which one? The Green Bay game?
No, that one you're talking about when they went to playoffs. What year was that?
This past year. Our first
Oh, this
playoff
past
season
year.
was in '93 when we played the Cowboys and beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, now,
And
that
then we
was the
thought
one that I remember because y'all kicked our what's that year.
Yeah, and then we thought that we were the it team. Well, we floundered the
yeah.
next year, and then the Cowboys went on there 4 Super Bowls or 3
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
Yeah, and y'all had Scott Mitchell as your quarterback then.
Yeah, he was a big PUSSY as well.
Missy Bash says, I remember when my Indianapolis Colts won the Super Bowl way back in the day.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
10, 12 years.
Oh,
Probably Peyton Manning era.
Yeah, it
I
was
imagine.
Manning.
I remember they had Bert who was it? Bert Jones was a pretty good quarterback for the Colts, but they never did crap. But anyways, yeah, so that led into the next season for the Lions, and man, we just had this great year, great run, and you guys, dude, we beat Stafford in the playoffs, who we traded Stafford for Jared Goff, who was part of the package deal. Just he's a throw in, and he's been nothing but great for us. So yeah, it was emotional for me. I mean, I damn near cried, man, when we clinched the NFC North and went on to the playoffs. And I gotta tell you, then we were in a championship game against the 49ers. We started out the game. Jameson Williams takes it for a touchdown. We're up 17 at halftime. 30 minutes to go. The Lions are going to the Super Bowl. But, some weird plays happen. We dropped a couple passes.
damn, they were up 17 by halftime, and
they kind of pissed it away.
Damn, you must have been disappointed that night.
Yeah,
they were eating the 49ers lunch. So
yeah, I mean, the Lions were the better team, but we made some bonehead. I mean, we had key plays where we normally did well during the season, but we effed up, man. And, a couple drop passes and key moments on 4th down because gambling Dan Campbell, you either like him or you hate him. But you know what? I'm going to roll with Dan Campbell because he got us that far.
Since no guts, no glory, hell.
Yeah, go for it. In fact, that game ran against the Cowboys, how we did that. That game. To me, that was a good call. Everyone's saying Dan Campbell's an idiot. I thought that was spectacular. I think that the officials screwed that up, or we would have won that game.
By a long shot. And I do agree, but like I said, with the call that they argued about, quite frankly, should have never been called in the first place. It would have never happened if they'd have called the tripping play 2 plays before.
Right? Yeah.
That whole game, that whole last 2 minutes of that game were just trash. By the way,
it was.
Okay, Rob, I do have to ask you to tell us the story of that night for you. Like, where were you? What were you doing? Who were you with? What were you
talking about?
Kind of food
the NFC Championship game?
Yeah. I want you to tell us the story of that night. What you went through personally that night.
Oh well, it was a great day starting out. We pre-partied like 3 hours before the game, of course. And I always go with my brothers to watch the games. We don't have a lot of people over because we are so intent on watching. I got friends that'll bitch and yell and moan and bitch about the Lions, and they'll be talking through the whole game. I don't even like that. I like to listen to the play-by-play, listen to the announcers, listen to the fans in the background, listen to the game. I don't sit there. If you want to be social with me during a Lions game, it ain't happening. I'm watching the game.
You're focused.
Yeah, I'm focused. And when they score a touchdown, we jump up, we celebrate, and we run around the room and we sit back down, we relax, like we did when Jameson Williams took that long touchdown. But Karen, my brother's wife, my sister-in-law, she made a tray of cold cuts, whatever it was. Order pizza later. They're the basic football stuff, and we just watched the game. And so at halftime, me and my brother dude, we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. We're up 17. There's no way we lose. And then all of a sudden, it just started shifting out of our favor. We lost momentum. And we looked at each other and we're like, man, we're not going to pull it out. And then we started talking about next year before the game even ended, man. Damn. So it was very disappointing.
Damn, that must have been a depressing ass night.
It was it was depressing. But then the next morning I woke up and reflected on what a great season it was. And I know that our team is pretty damn good. We're stacked. We'll be good this year. and probably the year after. So we'll be competitive for the next 2 seasons, probably. I think our team is even better. I think our team might even be better because you got to remember, we got a lot of rookies played for us last year. They got another year of experience. We have a young team. We're like the 3rd youngest team in the NFL.
And you had a decent draft, too.
And we had another good draft. I mean, our general manager is awesome. Brad Holmes came from the Rams. That guy is he's made maybe 1 or 2 crappy picks, but he's drafted studs, man. And so, yeah, I'm confident. You know, my hopes are high. I'm already geeked because July 27th, training camp starts. I already know when training camp starts, and I usually go to one of the training camps and watch the practice because it's about 3 miles from my house.
Oh, you actually go and watch the training? What's that like, watching training camp?
Oh, that's a lot of fun. A lot of fans. We hang out, drink beer in the parking lot. Watch practice.
Do the players like interact with the fans because it's like kind of like off camera?
Yeah, no, they do. They a lot of times if you're close to the gate, if you're close to like the stadium, they'll sign an autograph. They'll take their jersey off and flip it to the crowd or a hat. They're really cool. Yeah, it's a pretty cool time. Yeah, but during practice, no, they're focused. But at the end, they will actually BS with the crowd, with the fans. Yeah.
I didn't even know training camps was like that were open to the public.
Only parts of them.
Only parts, not all. Like there's a scheduled block. I mean, they go pretty much, what is it, Randy, 5-6 days a week starting training camp? Maybe one day off.
On it. And they maybe do 2 a days, probably 3 or 4 of those maybe. So you're talking about.
So you figure all of July, August, they practice every day. So they open like 15 to the public.
Yeah.
So, which are free, by the way. The Lions make it free for fans. So you got to get there you got to get there really early because you can only
Dallas goes out to Oxnard. So when Dallas goes out to Oxnard, we can't go see them. We have to wait till they come back to Frisco for their mini camps and stuff afterwards. So,
really? Oh,
yeah. We can't go. They're out in Oxnard, California when they do theirs. So,
yeah, that kind of sucks. California. Okay. So the cool thing, Donnie, really quickly is great for me because I can ride my bike up there.
It's only 3 miles.
It's how close the place is. So if I would have a couple beers and party with fans, because you meet so many Lions fans, so we end up hanging out in the parking lot. You know,
athlete,
I get on my bike and stand. You know,
which professional athletes have you met any in person? Like, got to like say what's up to them or high five any of them or talk to any of them?
I talked to I'm on St. Brown. I talked to him briefly. He threw me a shirt which went over my head and I fumbled it, you know, and somebody else scooped it up for the touchdown. That was kind of disappointing. But it was
Mean Joe.
It was like a 10-year-old kid though. So I'm like, oh, and if it was a dude my age, I'd have fought him for it. But it was a kid.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
definitely.
You know, but yeah, so I let the kid have it. It was my fault though. But that's really the only one I met. In my entire life, I've only met St. Brown briefly, and honestly, that's it. Yeah, because all you got to remember too, like my one buddy who drives a truck met Barry Sanders at a gas station, and Barry Sanders is like, you know, Hall of Famer for the Lions, running back.
Yeah,
and he met him at a mobile gas station. Barry was getting gas, and he saw Barry, and he goes, "Hey, Barry," he goes, "Hey." You know, and he talked to my buddy real briefly. He got his autograph at the gas station. So, but as far as me personally, no, I never have. Yep.
Randy, you?
As far as meeting somebody?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you talking about classic Cowboys. I met Drew Pearson. I met Ed Too Tall Jones. Actually surprised the crud out of me. I had a football when I was stationed at Fort Campbell, and Drew Pearson was there doing a signing at the PX there on post, you know. So I was like, took my football over there. I got Drew Pearson to sign. I had a friend of mine at one time right after Super Bowl 12 had happened. There was a comic book actually put out of the Dallas Cowboys and Tom Landry and so forth, so on. A buddy of mine had that comic book. I took it for Drew to sign for him, and Drew signed my football. Well, come 5 years later, here I am in Germany at the commissary, and here's Ed Too Tall Jones there doing an autograph signing in Germany. And I'm just like, holy crap. I go and get the football, and I go back. He looks at it and goes, "Where'd you meet Drew at?" And we started talking and BS. And when they say these guys are huge, they ain't lying. That man shook my hand, and my hand was engulfed in his.
I can imagine they all look way bigger in person than on TV. Yeah.
And then I met Artist Gilmore, at another signing at one of the PXs. So he was a basketball player for the Bulls back. He was the number 23 for the Bulls before Michael Jordan. So.
Oh, wow. Plus one thing too, Randy, I've been to, and actually I will tell you this, which people might find this strange, because people said, hey, Rob, would you go to the Super Bowl if you had tickets if the Lions went? My answer was? It was nope. I'm watching it at home, man. I'm watching it at home. The game is so much better better seat. It's better to watch on TV. You'll get some blood. You get some crappy seat anyway.
Yep.
And I grew up on play-by-play.
Yeah.
For me, it was first. It was the Tigers. We had the legendary George Kell and Al Kaline on TV, but we had Ernie Harwell and Paul Carey on the radio.
That's it, on the radio.
Who were like, they're Hall of Famers. And as I grew up, I'm listening.
That's the same thing with the Rangers here. And, for the longest time, you couldn't hear them other than through the radio, especially locally. So I'm a big play-by-play guy, and that's why when I don't invite people over my brother's house, and he don't either, because we enjoy taking in the game and listening to all the camaraderie between the announcers, right? Yep.
And now you get some shitty ones. Now the Lions were shitty for so long that we didn't get Aikman and Buck. We got Biff Ryan and Toby Gonzalez.
Guess who's here?
I see it.
Should I throw him a link?
Sure, bring him on. I don't give a damn. I'll make fun of him too. I don't care.
Hey, Tex, I'm going to throw you a link. You can hop on if you want, or if you don't, it's cool.
He don't know nothing about football.
Does he know anything about football?
He don't know nothing about football.
It's
really bad. Rob, we're talking about that. You wouldn't go to I would never go to a football game either. I never cared to go to an actual live football game. I prefer to sit at home, drink my beer, watch it on TV, eat what I want. And then I don't have to worry about messing around. The only sporting events I ever went to were baseball games, really.
Now I can see that.
Baseball is just so much more fun in the stands, even if you don't have somebody making the calls for you and stuff.
Yeah.
It's so much more fun to watch it.
Oh man, I totally agree. Baseball, I can sit in. What's cool about a baseball game, you don't have to sit in your chair for 9 innings. I mean, where the Tigers play, you get up, there's 30 restaurants and bars, there's shit to buy T-shirts, and there's people all around walking around. Yeah, I'll watch what I typically do at a baseball game. I'll watch 3 innings in my chair.
Yep.
Eat a hot dog, traditional thing you got to do, right?
Got to do that, yeah.
Then I'll get up and I'll start walking around and looking around the place, have a drink at a bar inside the stadium. Then maybe right around the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, I'll go back and watch the game.
Yeah. You can walk around for hours and not miss a thing because you still got something you can see from wherever you're at.
And also when you're in the when you're in the stadium, you can see the game from the field, or they got so many damn TVs, you're gonna watch it on the TV for a little while.
You're not gonna miss anything.
You're not gonna miss a single pitch.
And guys, as many as I've been to as far as the major league ones, obviously my favorite's going to minor league park all day long.
My
just
buddy
to see those youngsters.
My friend goes down to Lakeland because that's where the Tigers play their minor leagues lake camp. He has a lot of fun there.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Do you guys ever mess with the CFL? Do you ever watch that?
Actually, I did it one time. I used to watch it when Doug Flutie was a quarterback, and when Warren Moon early on before he came to the NFL.
Yeah, I watched the CFL with Doug Flutie and Warren Moon by chance, and I lucked out when I saw them.
At least he came with good stuff. Yeah. Good man.
That's the Star of Dallas. America's so-called team.
Hell yeah.
So, Tex, do you have any thoughts on the football?
The football? Is that what you said? Do I have any thoughts on the football?
Yes.
Hey,
I swear to God, I thought he was doing damn Kathy Bates there out of Waterboy for a minute. Did you play the foosball?
Oh, you know what, though? Before Tex talks about the football, Randy and Tex, I already pegged this on my calendar. October 13th, we come to Arlington to play you guys.
So are you coming too?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not. We watch on
But
TV.
you know what we could do? We could do a watch party on here.
Yeah, we could. I'll be at my brother's, but I could also
he don't
pull it up.
socialize when he watches a game. Y'all
Yeah,
heard
You
you
would have no
sure-
choice in
no.
that situation.
Well, I would bring my laptop. It don't really work now, but
my
I could
son
have-
got me here. It's a Dallas Cowboys totem pole.
that is pretty cool. Yeah.
So I don't know how we're going to do this year. I really don't. It's unfortunately, and I'm sitting here listening to you brag on your draft and your general manager and everything. And
Oh yeah.
God, I wish I could do the same.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well,
You know what's really bad though is our general manager drafted Dan Campbell.
Well, you guys have Jarrah Talgera.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Pulling his strings for 2 decades at least.
I think he's been dead for 20.
Yeah. Try 30.
That one year when he had his face work done, he looked like one of the guys from freaking one of those things from Hellraiser.
Oh God, yeah.
Did he get his face job or something?
Oh,
Yeah.
he's so vain, it ain't even funny. He's got to look pretty. He
Oh,
doesn't
man.
care.
I kid you not, man. He looked like somebody had just taken his face and just pulled it back as far as they could, then tied it in a knot in the back. I'm like, good God, you look like you. It's crazy.
Yeah, I like Calgary Stampede.
Hey guys, I want to ask each and every one of you, like the three of you, the same question, okay? What was the most pissed off or upset you had ever been at the outcome of a football game in your life? Where, like, you either cried or got violent or whatever. What was the most, like, the saltiest you ever been as a result of a football match or a game or whatever?
There's too many for me, Donnie, with the Lions.
Is there one particular?
Listen, I'm bragging on the Lions. They're finally a top 5 team in the entire NFL. But we've been a bottom 28 team for like my entire life. The game that I tell you what, I hate to bring this up again. One of my most infuriating games was again against them Cowboys.
Yeah.
With the officiating, with you got your clown receiver on the sideline should have been penalized. Brandon Pettigrew should have got tackled before the ball got to him. Now we lost the game fair and square because we should have capitalized. We only scored 6 points in the second half. But my gosh, I mean, and I don't like to bitch about penalties, but that was talk about they wanted to make sure the Lions didn't win. I firmly thought that for a while. Today I don't believe that, but that to me it was because we had a good team that year. And I thought we had a chance to pull it off, but we didn't score but 6 points. And the other thing is the referees, I think, kind of played a role in that.
They played a big role in it.
I don't like to bitch about it. I'm over it.
Hey.
But yeah, I was infuriated in that game.
I'll tell you straight up, man. I hated to admit this, but I cannot ignore what is just blatantly happening anymore. I think it's rigged, dude.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Sometimes, don't it?
I really think it's rigged. We know boxing's rigged. We know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I won't even watch it no more.
I mean, it's a joke to watch a boxing match, and it's getting the same damn way with the UFC. I mean,
yeah.
Don't get me starting on UFC judging. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Now I do know. I think probably the most PO'd I've ever been during a game that I really wanted to whoop somebody's ass. And that was when T.O. pulled his crap when he was.
The Scarpy incident.
Wait, what happened? I don't know about this incident. What happened?
Oh,
what happened? You got to educate me.
I will let Tex start with this one.
Yeah.
I still get hot when I think about it.
Yeah.
I know as much about sports as you know as much about K-pop. So.
Okay, so we're playing Philadelphia in Dallas. Okay, now Philadelphia.
I hate
he was with the Niners. He was
They're the
with the
one
Niners
that everyone
at that time.
hates.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Niners. I'm sorry.
Oh.
See, I hate Philadelphia so much. Everything that comes.
Oh yeah, same thing.
So anyway, we're playing the Niners, which is at least I can respect the Niners now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so we're playing the Niners. T.O. scores, runs out in the middle of the field in the Dallas Star, and pulls some hijinks, flaunting,
Posed.
taunting.
He posed.
Yeah.
Posed? Oh.
And and then we traded for the son of a bitch.
Yeah, or we signing free agent. I don't remember what it was, but it was stupid. Whatever it was. Don't get me wrong. The guy is a gifted receiver.
Yeah,
he was a hell of a damn receiver.
Yeah,
but when he did that, I got so mad. And of course, you saw what Emmett did when he scored. Emmett went out there, slammed the ball down, and said, "This is my damn house," and stared him down. Right?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
T.O. went to do it again after he scored the second time.
George
Teague put a stop to that one right then and there.
He didn't give two shits about a penalty.
Nope, or a fine or anything. He waylaid T.O. And he deserved it. Quite frankly, he deserved it.
Play was dead, everything. He just nailed it.
Yep.
So, Randy, what about you? What was the most pissed off or upset you'd ever been because of football? Like you wanted to punch somebody.
Probably 1990. We won the 90. I'm trying to think myself. 93, January 93. The second year. No, I take that back. Won the first one. I'm trying to remember which one we did. We played San Francisco. It was like the third straight year. I take that back. Now that I said that, I was talking about the one between the two Super Bowls, San Francisco won, and I think about that one. But that is not the one that made me mad and shit. The catch.
Oh.
The Dwight Clark catch in 19, I believe it was 84.
The one on the helmet?
No, not that one. I'm talking about the Cowboys when Joe Montana threw it to the back of the end zone, and out of the blue, here comes this big stupid tight end to catch it for the game-winning touchdown. And I'm just like, to this day, I wish nothing but ill will on Joe Montana and freaking Dwight Clark. I don't know if they're still. I don't know if Dwight Clark's still alive. I know Joe Montana is, and every time I see him in a commercial, I want Randy White to come out of somewhere and just nail his ass for the fun of it. Okay,
the Manster.
So that's how mad I was at that one. I broke down almost. Of course, I was only like 13, 14 years old at the time. I broke down. I was like, I was so hot. Almost as bad as when Houston lost in the final game against NC State in '83. So yeah. That's how bad I was hot that time. So that's all. Well, the catch.
And when you mentioned the catch, I will say, the Dallas game I mentioned was pretty, because that's the most recent. But I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
When the Lions now every year, the Lions, made the playoffs maybe 5 times in my lifetime, but the one time they always seem to lose a playoff berth, like on the last game of the year.
Yeah,
because for a lot of years though, we were 500, but back, so we were not the worst. We got really pathetic, prior to the new regime taking over, but we were at home and we were going to the playoffs. We had to beat the Packers once again, and we had this game locked up. There was like under a minute to go in the game. Lions, me and my brother partying. Yeah, we're finally going to the playoffs. One last play. Brett Favre goes back. He was down the right sideline to a wide open Sterling Sharp with nobody on him. Nobody 50 yards from the guy. Won the game. Ooh. Boom, knocked us out.
That must have stung.
That's the Lions. Mental lapses. They just oh my God, yes. I tell you what, that's probably worse than the Cowboys. That was like 15. God, that sucked.
I'll tell you the maddest I've ever been at a game that really, it wasn't even a game. It was at the fans.
Yeah.
And that's when the Philly fans belted Santa Claus with rocks and batteries.
Are you kidding?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Or when they
God.
booed wait a second, when they booed Michael Irvin when he went down with that neck injury and they were carting him off the field on a stretcher and they were booing him. I'm like, you mother. Ooh.
That's Philly fan?
That's
That
Philly
was
There's
fan.
fan.
a
Yeah.
legit hate between Cowboys fans and Philly fans. When I was in basic training, and they canceled our Christmas because it was during Desert Shield, and
There you go. Hold on to it. Don't let it go.
right. But you got to remember, I'm in Fort Dix, and we're about to play that weekend. We're playing Philadelphia. Well, the Philadelphia cheerleaders come to the show, right? And they're out in the crowd and everything, and we're all talking and stuff. And I'm talking to one of the cheerleaders, and she nailed it. I mean, as soon as I opened my mouth, she knew exactly where I was from. And she goes, "I bet you're from Texas." I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am." And she goes, "I bet you're a Cowboys fan." "Yes, ma'am, I am." She goes, "We're playing y'all this weekend." I said, "Yes, ma'am, we're going to kick your ass." She got mad, turned around and left, wouldn't talk to me no more.
Oh,
I got to say this. You probably got off on the light end of it then, so you're good.
hey, Rob, as a Michigan fan, who do Michigan people hate?
Well,
everybody hates Cowboys.
As a Michigan fan, if you're talking college, it's definitely we don't. Ohio, the state of Ohio doesn't exist.
Oh, it's like Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, every bit of it. That's the two rivalries. Those two are.
What about for the NFL
football.
though? Do you hate the Eagles as much as like Tex and Randy hate the Eagles?
I don't care about. Well, I don't. No, I don't have that rivalry. I mean, I don't really like the Eagles, but competition for the Lions is pretty much. I can't say that I have that type of hatred because I tell you what, if what the Philly fan did, what they got to get carted off. I never heard that story, guys. That to me, when I listened to what you just said, Tex, that is terrible, man. I would hate them if they were in my division.
Oh, I do.
I think I hate if I had to say a team I hated, it would probably have to be Chicago Bears, probably, or the Minnesota Vikings. It's hard to say. We don't have hatred. Or the Packers. See, for me, it's
anybody in the NFC North.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't have like these guys got. I don't have no. It's just a good competitive division, you know.
You know, for years it was the Redskins with us, though. You know.
No. Oh yeah.
And then it was San Francisco, but it's always been the Eagles at the core.
Yeah.
I even remember. I remember when we had the big rivalry with the Steelers, you know, and all that steel curtain and.
Sorry, Rob. Didn't mean to jump on you there.
No, you're okay. I always tell you this. So I don't really have hatred for any of our teams. I don't like the teams in my division, but I'm not saying this because Randy or Tex are on the show, but I'm frustrated playing the Cowboys because they give us nothing but grief.
Yeah.
There's 2 games in my lifetime that we beat the Cowboys in 93, or was it 91?
91, yeah.
And we had a great team, and then we fell off the planet, and then the Cowboys went on their Super Bowl run, which should have been, I thought, could have been the Lions. And then the playoff game, and then that game last year. So the Cowboys are our nemesis as far as sticking it to us.
And I think y'all got hosed in that playoff game too, because I still think that was a pass interference, no matter what the ref said. I know in our way, but that was a pass interference that linebacker did on y'all's tight end. So
yeah. So, but nothing against the Cowboys per se, but they're like a thorn in our side. Seems like, tough to get past.
I can make Donnie Cho a football fan.
I think you could.
Oh, I can. There's no doubt about it. There is a league out there.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
What are you talking about?
Lingerie football.
LFL. There you go.
Lingerie football.
Yep.
And it's real. It is very real, and they're very competitive.
Yep. They wear nothing but lingerie and then the pads.
Yep.
I've seen that. Yeah.
The Dallas Diamonds used to practice right down the house.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
And I think they're still on like one of the Bally Sports channels too, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. See, he's thinking now. He's going, I'm going to look.
I'm going to have to look that one up.
Yeah.
And I could care less about the XFL and
yeah.
I'd rather watch
those are farm leagues now.
But The Rock is taking over, so
doesn't matter.
It's The Rock.
It doesn't matter. Just like when the XFL and USFL did it before and now, the people that couldn't make it in the NFL are the ones that are there. So you might as well call it a farm league or the minors, because that's what they're doing. They're wanting to get noticed by the NFL so they can get brought up.
Some of them are actually former NFL that got cut.
Yeah, don't mention Johnny Manziel at all, right?
He's a pride of Texas.
Last on there either.
Man, go away, Rob.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, let me ask you this, guys, because we're already like 40-something minutes in. I've got 3 paranormal cryptid dudes up in my show today. So now that we have 3 paranormal cryptid dudes here all at once, I'm going to ask you a bit of a spicy question. You could disclose as much or as little as you want. No names, no specifics. But, lately there's been some turmoil in the cryptid paranormal fandom and communities, right? People, just talking smack about each other and arguing and beefing. And I'm wondering, does this oftentimes remind you of sports fans, like cryptid nerds and sports fans? How are they similar and how are they different?
Y'all want me to start or y'all want to start?
Randy, go ahead.
I will not say sports, but I'll say sports entertainment / pro wrestling. Yes. But they're not even good like WWE. These people I keep hearing track about each other. I'm looking at each other at them like, y'all ain't even good AEW people. What are you talking about? Be quiet over there. Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
I really can't comment on that, Donnie.
I feel like
ask the question again, Donnie.
Okay. Let me frame it like this, okay? For example, you know how there's little different camps amongst the fandom, such as Bigfoot being a flesh and bloodder, right? Mm-hmm. The flesh and blood camp, let's think of them as like Eagles fans.
Okay.
All right. And then there's some people in the cryptid fandom who are just like, oh, those flesh and blooders, man. Those guys are just a bunch of douches. They don't want to think about the woo or the super. They just think it's some kind of animal. These guys are like Eagles fans. Everyone just kind of can't stand them.
Yeah, and that's the people that are flat earthers calling us that.
Right. And then maybe I don't know. Maybe the flat earthers are like, I don't know. What team do you want to equate flat earthers with? I started this.
Well, I could answer. That was easier to answer. I think that if you're just a staunch aper in the aper camp, that's not my cup of tea, because I think, like I've said all along, you have to have an open mind to both, right? Bigfoot's probably an animal in some categories, and I think he's probably something else in others. And I'm not beating around the bush, but I will say this. If I want to say something like kind of, spicy, if you're just in the ape camp, then I want nothing to do with it, because you bring nothing to the table for me if that's the only way you think. And I'll just leave it like that, I guess.
I'm going to disagree with Rob, because I love talking to people that are just apers, strictly apers, because especially now, and I'll talk to anybody. I don't care. Okay, you believe what you want, but I will say this: if you've got an aper that's a researcher, a field researcher, and you pose this question to him or to them, they don't know how to answer it because they don't want you to know. Flat out, most of them don't want you to know the answer to this question. If you asked them, well, have you ever seen anything out there you couldn't explain?
Anybody that's ever been in the woods?
I know a doctor that's an aper. And I probably don't even have to say no more.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a doctor that's an aper that had
a personal physician of yours?
No. My doctor is an aper. He thinks I'm an ape, though. But I know a doctor in the community that is an aper, very respected by most.
And I hope it's not Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum.
And I know for a fact that he's had 2 paranormal experiences.
Oh, okay.
Not out in the field. One of them was in Jefferson, Texas, in his hotel room.
Was he staying at the Jefferson Hotel?
Did a Bigfoot come through the wall in a spiritual form?
He was visited by a ghost, spirit, poltergeist.
Okay.
They're all over that place.
Well, see, that's different though from what I said because he did have an experience. I guess my stance is if they've never had an experience, how can you say that it's not this, that, or the other, right? I mean, I don't know. And a lot of guys in the aper camp haven't even seen a Bigfoot. Yeah. So how can you expound on something you haven't even seen?
And that's something that's a burr under my saddle. That's a fly in the buttermilk, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's okay. Concentrate. Think about it.
These people, I know, use your words. These people.
Those damn Eagle fans.
Yeah.
Those damn Eagle fans.
That have been at this for 20 or 30 or more years and have not even had an encounter. But they're the ones that these people are going for information and calling experts.
Yeah, right.
What?
How is anybody an expert?
You know who those people are like? They're like Stephen A. Smith.
I'm over on Donnie's show.
They're like a loudmouth about sports, but he's like not an actual athlete.
Now wait a minute.
Now
Donnie.
we're talking paranormal and apers and apers in the wood camp.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got Monica in another room waiting on me, so I'm going to have to.
But hey, listen, Donnie. I you just said something, Donnie, and for a man that does not follow sports, you just said a name of a guy that I love to hate, Stephen A. Smith.
You and me both.
So, and he is a sports guy, Donnie.
Yeah,
not a show, and you know him, and you. So
I sometimes like watching him because I don't know anything
you watch
about
ESPN. Okay,
I don't know anything about these people he's arguing about, but the way he does it so passionately, so I'm just like, damn, this guy loves sports.
Who's that?
No, he hates the Cowboys.
Stephen A. Smith. You know who that is.
Oh, I was like,
he's got some very seriously strong.
It's not Collinsworth couldn't.
Yeah.
Collinsworth can't call his way out of a game.
Oh, yeah, he's terrible. Well, I got to tell you what, back on the sports subject, I think that Al Michaels should have retired 10 years ago.
Oh, hell.
I respect the man. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. But, John Madden, my favorite tandem was Pat Summerall and John Madden, and they retired when they should have, right?
Exactly.
Right or wrong. You know what I mean?
I wish they'd raise Madden from the dead and get him back on the air.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, but also think about it. You got those two. You gone? You don't want to talk to me no more. That's fine.
He's got another show.
I wasn't going to say it, but that's true. Hey, if that was a frog hat, I'd be talking to you.
We eat frogs. Get out of here.
All right.
And that was he's representing TCU, by the way. So
I didn't know Monica had a show tonight. Today's only Wednesday.
I think he's helping her with something else. So.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so what was now? I got off. He got me on the damn TCU crap. So yeah, I get mad about TCU too. So one of the things that want to punch them. So, but anyway, never mind. I forgot what I was talking about.
Well, I want your thoughts on this, Randy. Did you not love Dottie? What you gotta do one day is you gotta go watch Pat Summerall and John Madden commentary.
Oh, yeah.
They were just like
They were the best.
Well, in my opinion, absolutely. Well, they're both in the Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, and those two together were were probably the best. I'll say on CBS because the Monday Night Football crew at the time, Cosell, Gifford, and Danny Don.
They were great too.
They were great. You couldn't have lived on the difference between those. But the minute Don Meredith left Monday Night Football,
it kind of went downhill.
Howard tried to keep it going, but people got mad at Howard Cosell. I'm like, Howard Cosell knew how to get you listening, though.
Yeah, because he always says something off color.
Well, and let's that when you brought that thing up earlier that Lil Patty put on there, the 99-yard touchdown run, that was on a Monday night, and that was the Tony Dorsett was with the Cowboys was playing the Minnesota Vikings, and they ran it from the 1-yard line, and he busted through. When he got the first 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, when he got through, all you heard was Don Meredith go, "Look out," or or something like that, if I remember right. And I'm just sitting there going, yeah, they ain't gonna catch him.
Yeah, no, and I liked always when we had Barry Sanders, we always, even though the team we were always about right around 500 with Barry, because he pretty much was the reason why we were 500.
He was y'all's team. He really was.
Yeah, he was the whole team. And I love when they called Barry run, because it was like and I can't impersonate him at all. Pat Summerall. Barry Sanders at the 50, cuts it back, doesn't say nothing.
No.
Barry Sanders touchdown. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then you get the replay of it, and you got John Madden going, whoop, whoop, and he did a whoop.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they were great. They were great awesome together.
Yeah.
Who, in your opinion, was the so those in your opinion were the greatest commentators? Who would you say was the greatest coach of all time?
Oh God.
Oh shit.
Well, if you're talking about just championships,
in your opinion, who was the GOAT coach?
GOAT coach.
Any sport, or if we talk just still football?
Just football.
Let's stick with football. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would go more old school guys. I mean, I know that these guys nowadays are like Belichick is staking his claim with all the victories and stuff like that. But think about it. I mean, you had Lombardi, who essentially the Lombardi trophy's named after.
Yeah,
obviously. He set the standard back in the 60s, obviously. Him and Tom Landry both, because they were both assistants at New York,
Yeah.
So, I mean, how many times the Packers play the Cowboys and they go at it, this during that time frame. But the one that really stands out the most to me really would be Chuck Noll, the Steelers.
That's a great call there.
That's 4 Super Bowls in a 6-year period or something like that, or 7-year period. 4 Super Bowls in the 70s now, mind you. Yeah. So that's a powerhouse, and he kept it going.
You could actually argue, Randy, that the Pittsburgh Steelers are the ultimate franchise.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even the guy that's coaching now, I know he hasn't done anything. The Steelers
won a Super Bowl.
But the Steelers, I don't think they've had a losing record in 30 years, despite having crappy teams the last couple of years.
They always seem to find a way to get there.
They always are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, last year, I don't think they made it. I think it was their first time in 30 years or something like that.
But hey guys, I'll be right back. You gentlemen talk amongst yourselves.
Well, let's look at the way their coaching went. I mean, you had Chuck Noll was there forever. Yeah. Then right behind him is Bill Cowher.
Yeah,
who was there for how long?
Great, forever.
And then right behind him, you got 3 coaches in the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah, and that's I tell you what, that's stability, and it's good ownership.
You got ownership that backs their coaches. Unlike others around, I mean, after Tom Landry left, or quite frankly, after Tom Landry was forced out here.
Well, who do you like better, Let me ask you this: you like Tom Landry better or Jimmy Johnson?
Different time frames. I mean, Tom Landry is what they needed in the 70s and 80s, but his system would not adjust to the times. That's why we couldn't ever get past the 49ers in the 80s.
Okay.
Because Bill Walsh with the running the West Coast offense stuff, a lot of the flex and doomsday defense stuff didn't quite work as well. It stopped the run okay, but your cornerbacks had to be shut down against those guys. And quite frankly, our cornerbacks weren't.
Yeah, okay.
Other than Everson Walls. Now, Everson Walls was a shutdown cornerback, but that's only one side. So, when you got three top-tier wide receivers and a top-tier tight end coming at you, you got to have a defensive backfield that'll handle them.
Yeah. Everson Walls was a good player, too, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think Tom Landry, I remember Tom Landry was a kid watching him. I thought he was a great coach. I thought the Cowboys, when I was growing up as a young guy, the Cowboys were America's team because they were extremely good every year, competitive and always around, right?
Yeah. And then, he was a class act, too.
Yes. And then Jimmy Johnson will go down as the trade because he did make that great. I'm sure that the
draft,
I can't imagine your thoughts when that trade went down. You're like, oh my God, we're gonna be awesome.
Actually, I didn't care because I didn't think we should have gotten him in the first place because I knew it was going to cause a problem between him and Tony Dorsett in the backfield. I knew it would. But to get that was such a stroke of genius to get what he got in that trade and to lay the foundation of that dynasty of the early 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, that one trade, he kept telling Jerry, just sign the checks. Let me handle this. You sign the checks, okay?
Yeah, right.
Now, he couldn't do that now because of the salary cap.
Now
He'd never be able to get away with it.
You could never get, nowadays you get, I tell you, let's talk about Matthew Stafford. We traded him and we got, it was just probably a good trade in today's NFL. We got Jared Goff aside, who was a throw-in. We got 2 first-round draft picks, a second round, and then Jared Goff, which is probably a damn good trade.
Yeah.
But
you guys got your stability started right there with that trade.
Yeah.
But then Matthew Stafford was still able to move on and get him a Super Bowl.
And he
too.
won the Super Bowl. And
I thought that was a win-win with y'all.
That was great for me because I did buy the Stafford jersey. When Stafford got traded to the Rams, I bought a Stafford jersey with the Rams. And I did root for Stafford. I'm not going to say I didn't.
I did too.
He was my quarterback for a decade, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
How
he was good. He was really good.
He was just always surrounded with incompetence in the front office.
Kind of like freaking what Barry Sanders had to deal with on the field.
Yeah. So I'm glad he got his Super Bowl now. I'm over it. And unfortunately, I think his playing days are come. This might be his last year.
Yeah. He's about done. He's
already bitched about his contract. I think he wants an extension or more money. Because I think the guy's broke his back and his neck, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
In the last 3 years.
If I was him, I think I'm with you. I think I'd just get my last payday and get the hell out.
The guy's made over almost $400 million.
Yeah.
Damn.
Exactly. So why in the hell would you want to keep it? Even Drew Bledsoe, finally, he said, not Drew Bledsoe, freaking Saints quarterback, Drew Brees. Sorry, Drew Brees.
Yeah.
He finally, said, and he should have never come back his last year. He really shouldn't have. And finally, when he set it down, he went out the way he should have gone out. And then he wasn't. So he isn't a shell of himself. So many of them stay there so long that they're a shell of themselves,
Yeah, and they look bad. A lot of these quarterbacks end up looking bad, right?
Yeah. It tarnishes them. It really does.
And look terrible. Like, who was the quarterback that really just looked awful and played a couple more extra years?
Like Drew Bledsoe when he left the Patriots.
Yeah, you know what? Drew Bledsoe. And I got to tell you what, Drew Brees didn't look quite that bad, but you could tell the last 2 seasons he played, you could tell he couldn't throw it about 20 yards, dude. He couldn't throw it 20 yards.
Nope. And Peyton Manning was the same way. Peyton Manning, I don't care. He looked bad his last year. He really did.
The Super Bowl team, he wasn't that good.
That was all
Denver.
defense.
With Denver.
That was all defense.
Yeah.
So, And the what 2 years before or a year before, whatever it was when they played, it was 2 years before when they played Seattle, and Seattle's defense absolutely ate him up and spit him out.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of the Seattle, what was your thoughts on not running Marshawn Lynch?
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I've been rewatching Deadliest Catch.
Yeah.
And the 2 seasons I just finished up, first season was the one where they won the Super Bowl over Denver. And of course, all the crab boat guys are all over the place happy and stuff. The next one, they're sitting there listening and watching at the Super Bowl. And you see the guy on the Northwestern, he gets up there and they did what? They did what? And you could just see everybody's face. They're like, everybody was echoing exactly what I echoed in that particular moment. I said, what the hell are you thinking? You've got beast mode behind you. You're on the 1 yard line, third down. The game is on the line and you throw the ball. Are you stupid? It isn't like Russell Wilson is the most accurate quarterback in history either.
No, especially, in between the goalposts, the 10 yard and on the one.
And that slant,
your window is 2 yards, 5 yards.
And that slant is going to be covered up from the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
You're too damn close.
Yeah.
So, quite frankly, they got what they deserved, and it does.
Yeah, they did. The coaching was. I feel bad for the players.
Yeah, players. I felt bad for Marshawn Lynch because he should have been the MVP of that game because he should have won that Super Bowl right there.
Yeah, and I tell you what, 3rd and 1. Let's say they stop him. 4th down. I'd go for.
I'm going for it
again.
I'd
do it again. Yeah,
you dang right.
He can get 1 yard or 2 carries after the season.
If he can't get 1 yard and 2 carries, I'm telling you what, that ain't Marshawn Lynch then. If he can't get 1 yard, 2 carries, because he's going to push 1 yard.
That would have been what they call paranormal abnormality.
Yeah. Hey guys, let me ask you: if you could change one rule in professional football, what would it be?
The bullshit roughing the passer rules.
Yeah, I think so. That was the first thing I was thinking, Randy.
Well, Troy Aikman got in trouble for telling everybody that the quarterbacks wear dresses now.
Well, he's got a point. But here's the thing. The quarterbacks weren't the one advocating for that either.
No, they weren't. I know. That all came about from Tom Brady's knee surgery way back when.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Horrible. So,
Donnie. Fluke accident, though,
Donnie, it's roughing the quarterback. But another thing that's starting to tick me off a little bit too, Randy, is we're going to see how this plays out. Now, you can't, what's the new rule with the tackling? You can't tackle and throw down the guy at the waist from behind. I mean, what the hell is that?
The only thing I know of is the horse collar. I don't know about this.
If you tackle a guy from behind, you can't grab him around the waist. Where are you supposed to grab him?
From the behind, from the waist, and flip him to the ground. Something like that, Randy. I just seen this other day.
I don't know.
Look it up. Just look up the Randy. Just go type in the newest NFL rules, tackling rules. It's like ridiculous.
The only other way you could get him down then is by doing a straight up RKO.
I guess what it was, Randy, or you can't dive at him now from the backside to get him down. I don't know. It's just something
that's insane.
It's like, well, how are they supposed to tackle a guy from the behind side?
I said the same thing about horse collar tackles too, because horse collar, I can understand it if you grab the horse collar and you rode them down, because that could cause high ankle strains and serious issues, right? I understand that one, but just grabbing somebody from behind and pulling them back, that's not horse collar.
No,
that's just tackling. You grab whatever you can grab. I remember, in fact, it was
you grabbed the hair of some guy.
Yeah, I think it was Marion Barber, who used to play for the Cowboys. He's running by somebody, and or maybe it was Marshawn Lynch, but I think it was Marion Barber. He's running past somebody, and guy reaches out, grabs those dreads that are outside, and pulls him down with those.
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh, we threw a flag. Why? It's not illegal.
It's not part of the jersey. It's his hair."
Well, he didn't get inside the collar, so it can't be a horse collar.
Yeah. I don't know. The NFL, though, Donnie, I will say this about the NFL. Their rules are so ticky-tacky that sometimes it does make games unbearable. And the thing about it, Randy, and the thing you probably agree with, Randy, there's no consistency.
No, there's not.
Week to week is different. Yeah, the way they call plays, penalties.
I can honestly say this last season is the first season in my entire life that I did not, other than the Super Bowl, and I really didn't sit down and watch all of it. Super Bowl and a couple of the playoff games, I didn't watch a single full game all season. Now, I watched a ton of college games, but I didn't watch a single pro football game all season.
Again, I'd never missed a Lions game my entire life. I watched every single game, so I do watch, and I see a lot of dumb stuff. But I don't know about college football nowadays, Randy, because I got to tell you,
the same way.
I started watching college football around week 6 because I'm sick and tired of every college. Now, there's a couple good ones that they'll put on.
Yeah.
But for the most part, though, they're 55-12 at halftime for the first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I love Michigan.
That's changing, though.
It's going to change. I love Michigan, but 48-2 against Rutgers in the first half.
Yeah.
I don't watch I don't watch the whole Michigan game.
Sorry.
What? Rutgers was a fine school. I had a great time there.
One time they had a good team too.
You went to Rutgers, Donnie?
Yep, I went to Rutgers.
Okay, well, good for you. It's a good school. I went to Michigan.
I went to the Army.
How do people in Michigan feel
Army counts? No, Army counts, dude. I tell you what, if I had to do it all over again, I'd rather be the career Army guy. My buddy retired after 25 years service and makes more money than I do on retirement.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It is a good thing. I'll give it that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's going on, Jason?
What's up, Jason?
Hey, buddy. Jason Fitch, great guy.
The college game now has evolved now with the way that these super conferences are about to start really going, because Pac-12 and Big Ten are going to end up merging just like the SEC, and has pretty much swallowed up everybody in the Big 12.
Yeah.
So by the time they don't have the time anymore to do these tune-up games, with the let's schedule some slack Division II team, in here, to beat up on so we can get tuned up. They got to go right into their schedules. They may have one game and that's it. And the days of an undefeated team in college are probably numbered, because there's no way you get through some of these schedules without getting beat.
Well, I hope it does get more competitive, especially early on. And the other thing, though, that kind of blows my mind, this, you're old school. The Big Ten was 10 teams: Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana, Michigan State, Michigan, blah, blah, blah. Now there's like 25, Iowa, all the Midwest.
Yeah.
For the most part, northern Midwest. And then now we got I couldn't even tell you the teams. There's 25 teams in the Big Ten now.
Well, yeah, because y'all actually merged with the Pac-12, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think, USC's in the Big Ten, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same thing when the Big 12 swallowed up the Southwest Conference, because Southwest Conference essentially was all Texas teams. You know what I mean? And then when was it A&M? No, it wasn't A&M. Southwest Conference couldn't keep money. They couldn't keep doing anything. They weren't being any kind of, so they got swallowed up by what at that time was the Big 8. And only 4 of the teams out of Southwest Conference moved into the Big 8. Arkansas used to be Southwest Conference, went to the SEC. So, now you got but they were smart when they went to 12. They said, okay, we're the Big 12 now. Okay, I can understand that. That makes sense. But when you sit there and you got the Big 10, who takes 2, Nebraska and who was it? There was another one that went to the Big 12 Big 10 at that time. Y'all went to 12 teams instead of 10.
Yeah, I know.
And then that put the Big 12 at 10. And I'm sitting there going, boy, y'all got this dyslexic thing going on like crazy, don't y'all? And the SEC, I'm glad they never even actually said how many were this Southeastern Conference. Okay, got it. But when you got the Southeastern Conference and you've got people now from Texas in there, or you've got the Big 10 now with Pac-12 teams in it. I mean, the whole realignment thing it's made it to where if you're not in those Division I schools that are in those conferences, you better have an undefeated season and you better have some quality wins.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I think we're kind of winding down the hour here. I've got some people showing up kind of late though. Hey Rob, I don't want to switch topics, but sort of do. I just want to ask you about a different sport now. Just kind of, I've always been curious about. Okay, you know, we've all heard your Bigfoot encounter story, right? And we all know, you know, everyone in the chat's heard it.
Yeah,
we've heard it. I've read it. There's no point in going over that. But I do have one question that I don't think anyone's ever asked.
Yeah.
When your story happened, it was because you went out on a fishing trip and you had a boat. My question for you is, what did you wind up doing with that boat, and did you ever continue fishing? And how big into fishing were you before that story happened?
Well, the boat was I rented the boat. I never owned a boat. Yeah, and I will tell you this: fishing is much again from my dad, who brought me and my brother up on sports. He always took us down to the Detroit River fishing as young guys. So we always fished from 8, 9, 10 years old. So I've always liked to fish, and that's my favorite. I'm not much of a hunter. My brother hunts 20. Y'all know that too. Most people that listen to the show, he's been a hunter for 25 years. Not that I don't enjoy hunting. It's just that, you know, oftentimes our work schedules were not copacetic. They didn't match, right?
Yeah.
But I do like fishing. Now I will tell you this: I haven't been fishing since 2018.
Since that incident?
Yeah, no, I haven't been out. It's not because of that though. It's just that time. There's so much.
There was so much going on.
There's so much going on in my life now that I don't have time for it, man. But I do enjoy fishing if I get an opportunity. In fact, what I need to do, I'd like to get a charter boat and do some muskie fishing.
Oh yeah, going up the river.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah. But I do like fishing though. I haven't done it, but I still enjoy it when I get out.
Yeah, because that was the one thing I was always kind of curious about that story, because the story was about you fishing, but then I never heard about you fishing afterwards, and I was always kind of curious if that had like turned you off from fishing from that point on.
Didn't really turn me off, Donnie, but I'd go fishing tomorrow if I had an opportunity, but I don't get many opportunities, and I don't got a boat. And all my friends that had boats sold them, because it's much better to have a friend that has a boat than have it yourself. I found that out. It's just too much goddamn money.
You know what boat stands for, right? Bust out another 1,000.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, Don. I was watching a show just today, because I don't watch the news so often, but there's a cool local talk show. I like watching talk shows, since that's what we all do. So I like watching a local talk show, which is news related. And they asked the question: so if you're invited out this holiday weekend to your buddy's house with the cost of gas, because the cost of gas on a lake is like $1.50 more than at the pump on the road, right? Do you offer and pay gas money taking the boat, or do you just assume because you're invited that the captain of the boat or the homeowner don't care? So I heard that question, and everybody almost unanimously said you should flip the guy money. I will say that because of gas, right? I don't know about that, where you guys stand. I appreciate, if I invited you, Randy, if I invited Randy and Donnie to my house to go on my boat, I don't expect gas money.
No, but you bet I'm going to bring you beer for you.
Bring me a case of beer, and that's all you need to do.
I'm bringing beer for you every time.
Because I would never ask anybody for gas money.
No,
I don't even ask people for gas money if I drive from Michigan to Ohio.
Here's a question: what if you invite your buddies out for fishing? Is it then your responsibility as the quote unquote host to provide the bait?
No.
Or does everyone bring their own bait?
Oh, you got to bring your own rod and reels. I ain't providing that. You bring your own gear. Now, if you want, if I go to the bait store and buy a dozen minnows, that's $3. Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If we're doing live bait fishing, that's one thing, but they ain't get my lures.
No, you use your own lures. Yeah, I got hook. You're not using my stuff because it's so easy to lose a $12 lure on where I live anyway.
And here too. Yeah. And the first time you got to replace a $12 buzz bait, you're looking at yourself like, I'm gonna kill somebody in a minute.
Yeah, right.
What's the because I'm not really knowledgeable on fishing. What's the difference between using a lure and using live bait? It depends on the fish, obviously, right? And
I think what you're fishing for the most part.
Yeah.
Time of year, a lot of times.
And how lazy you want to be doing it. If you want to just sit there and drink and put fish, you just drop out a minnow or a worm out and catch whatever hits it,
Yeah, if you want to sit there and drink and party with your buddies, what you do is you get a minnow or a worm, you get a bobber, you cast it out, you let it float and see what happens.
Yep.
What if so lures are more like active fish, things that need to chase something.
Yeah, watch bass tournaments.
Yeah, you're always reeling and you're casting, reeling, casting. You don't have time to drink a beer because you're always actively doing it.
Au contraire, mon frère. I do have time to drink a beer.
Well, you do. I mean, you don't. Actually, I would find time too, but if you watch on the shows, all they're doing is this.
Yeah, but they're at tournaments. They're not allowed to drink
a beer, maybe then do that. But I just, hey man, throw a bobber in the line, Randy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just drink a beer, man. Watch that.
It's like golf. You can't go fishing without booze. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you got to play golf. You got to have booze.
And what's fun about the bobber is you got the bobber bopping. You're casually watching it. When it goes under, you're all excited. Oh, there's a fish on.
Yeah. Until you pull it out and it's like that.
Yeah, typically it's a bluegill.
Oh yeah, every time. Best eating fish in the world, though, right there.
Yeah, if you catch about 50 of them.
Well, that's all I need.
Yeah. Do you just throw them on the pan? Do you just get the scales off?
Gut them, and scale them, and then I throw them in the pan.
Yeah. Okay.
And after they're cooked, you just take that spiny back fin, that spiny bit, and it peels right out, and then you just flake that meat right off.
Okay.
I know people that eat the tails. They'll eat they'll fry the tails to where they're almost like a chip, and they will eat the tail too.
That's probably not bad.
Oh, we do that in Korea all the time.
Yeah,
we eat the eyeballs.
I don't do all that. There's too many parasites and eyeballs around a lot of this stuff around here.
Oh well, maybe Asian fish.
And we're up by where you're at, the DC area. We couldn't. When I fished up there, they wouldn't allow us. Well, they recommended you didn't eat more than 8 ounces a month of what you caught out of the Potomac/Accotink area. And I'm like, 8 ounces ain't even a damn fillet. What are you talking about? So needless to say, I never kept anything to eat from there.
Yeah, we had, back when I was a kid, even prior though, for me being a kid, it might have been in the 50s and 60s when the Detroit River was flooded with lead and mercury. And the Detroit River has walleye and perch and stuff like that. People that I would eat, but they also have things that I wouldn't eat, like carp, sucker, shit like that, right? But people were eating the perch and the walleye out of the Detroit River, right? And it was right by, it used to be Great Lakes Steel. They would dump all that mercury into the river.
Yeah.
And people were eating the fish. They were loaded with mercury and lead. And about a decade down the road, after eating it, the people developed cancer and growths on their body.
Sick, right? Yeah.
Started really sick and died of cancer from fish from the river. So there was about a ban, Randy and Donnie, for maybe a decade where certain stretches of the river, they forbade you to keep any fish or eat it because you would get cancer.
Yeah.
So it took many, many years to clean up the river, which today the river's clean. I still would eat fish out of the river.
Yeah.
Lake Erie, I don't mind, but the river itself, no, it's just sport fishing at best.
Yeah.
And all it is filled with sucker and carp and garbage fish.
Do they have the in that river? Do they have the those silver carp, the Chinese or Jap, carp, whatever they were, the silver carp? I guess it is the ones that jump out the water at the people.
No, No, so flying carp. I know
Yeah.
the Asian.
Yeah, the Asian carp.
The flying
That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
no, we don't have that here. Not that I'm. Not yet. We got those gobies, man. They say,
oh man,
when you catch the goby, you're supposed to kill it on site. If you catch the
yep.
goby, you're supposed to kill it, not put it back in the water.
That's the same thing up there in DC area that they are in Virginia. The snakeheads that are in the rivers and stuff up there. You catch them, you're supposed to kill them. Yeah. At one point, you had to call the Virginia Game and Wildlife people to come out and mark where they got it, and most of the time they would take the fish. You know, so.
Yeah, because with the gobies, they eat all the plankton and the algae, which is killing the natural food source for the regular fish.
Yeah, and probably stealing a lot of the oxygen out of the water.
Steals all the oxygen out of the water. Yep. Yeah, terrible. The goby, kill the goby, Daddy Joe, if you ever catch one. If you ever go fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell they're very ugly. They're about like that big. And they got this big ass head on them. They're ugly.
Are they edible at least?
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't either.
Oh, I'm Asian. You know we would.
Okay, think about a Picosmus in your tank. Picosmus is that fish that's in a fish tank that's stuck to the side all the time.
Oh yeah,
constantly sucking shit off of it. They start out about this big, and after about a year and a half, they're about that big because they've done nothing but suck the slime off of the side of the aquarium. Yeah.
Hey, you know about what we Koreans eat, right? We eat. You ever hear of sannakji?
Yes, I've had sannakji.
Rob, have you ever heard of sannakji?
No.
It's a Korean dish, right? Where it's basically you eat a live octopus.
Yep.
While it's alive, you mean?
While it's alive,
still
while
squirming.
It's moving, while it's still squirming in your mouth.
Oh wow! How could you do that?
Well, with soy sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
or sashimi. I've had mine with sashimi.
Now that makes sense. Yeah.
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 He's not lying. I mean, honestly,
I know he's not lying. I liked his answer. He was casual about
the tentacle. I got. They had a tentacle about like that, and of course you pull it off, and it's still the end, still doing this crap, you know. Yeah. And you sitting there. Of course, I'm no good with chopsticks to start with, you know, but I get it, and it goes right into sashimi sauce, and right down. Well, don't chew it. Yeah, don't try and play with it. Just down it.
I know that Donnie meant when I said, "How do you eat that live?" Then of course she said soy sauce, which of course is typical Donnie show. Good answer, but yeah, you know, I don't think I could put something live in my mouth and eat it. I will say this. We've all done this before. We've all went to the pet shops. We've all grabbed the goldfish and tried it. I've done that before. Swallowed goldfish live.
I've never done that.
You haven't?
Never done that. Never
no way. I've done that. I've done it. Yeah. Yeah. Slid right down my throat. No big deal. Couldn't taste it.
Damn.
Nah. Never even thought about it, honestly.
Wow. I thought everyone swallowed a live goldfish.
I heard people do it, but I've seen people.
I only ever saw anyone do that ever once on an episode of Jackass. And I was I couldn't believe he did that.
We did that. I did it once, never again.
I've seen movies that people do it all the time, but
I've
seen army buddies do it. But
I thought that was the thing, man. Now, I'd rather do that than eat a damn octopus squiggling in my mouth.
Yeah, but I actually sat down to eat with somebody and we were eating that. So I was like,
I prefer the calamari aspect on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's okay as long as they don't overcook it in terms of rubber.
Well, no, you got to do it the right way. Yeah. Otherwise, it is rubber.
I actually don't eat cephalopods, but my family, they're really into it, like the live ones. And yeah, then like when I'm with my parents, sometimes my dad will be like, "Oh, I want some sannakji," and then my mom will just open up the fridge, and it's not live, but it's
still squirming.
It's still
it's raw.
Fresh.
It's raw.
It's
fresh.
It's raw. It's fresh. Yeah, very fresh. I'll tell you what though. They once interviewed. I remember this one video where they interviewed Gordon Ramsay. Right, you know, because he's done all these shows where he goes to all these countries and eat all these fucked up foods. And they asked Gordon, they were like, "Hey, so of all the countries you've been to, of all the dishes you've eaten, what was the grossest thing you ever had? And this, so his answer filled me with so much pride because he said, "Oh, it was in Korea," and I was like, "Oh, which dish?" And he said, "It was it's a dish that we call honga, and honga is fermented stingray."
Yeah. Ooh.
Fermented.
I had to look up, see what that one. There's a fermented cod from Norway too. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's a salted fermented cod. I think I saw it one time. Somebody said, "Hey, we're gonna go try that." I couldn't even the smell.
It's like, okay,
when they open it. Done.
It's like people would ask me what a hongo tastes like, and I've tried it once, and I would say it's like, because it's fermented, there's a bit of a soda-ish element to it. So imagine if it was like sushi flavored soda, but then you also pissed in it, because then it would have that uric acid smell.
Nah, I'm good.
So yeah, it would be like taking a piece of sushi and dunking it in urine. That's what it tasted like.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Why not just go ahead and eat durian fruit instead? So that's just
Danny
fruit that smells like shit. So
yeah,
Danny's like, if this is live, ask about burdak, chicken of fire chicken.
Yep,
that's just really spicy chicken. Really, it's like hot wings.
Yeah, but it's very hot.
Yeah, very, very, very hot though. But not as hot as like the hottest wings you could possibly get. I mean, those wings are just stupidly hot.
I think that, I don't know if Hooters still has them. They used to have a 3 Mile Island wings that they used to have, but I don't know if that's still a thing at Hooters.
It's basically, it's that. It's like really hot wings, except instead of the wings, it's mostly chicken breast.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Barbecue chicken breast, really.
Well, hell, I've had some very hot chicken curry, so.
Yeah, I hear you on that. And speaking of which, I am planning on doing an episode on Korean food.
Cool.
But yeah, we've got an hour and a half, so I think it's high time we start signing off. But before I let you all go, I do have to announce that starting from next week, I am going to move to Fridays. I haven't decided on the time. I'm thinking 8 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern. But I'm moving the show to Fridays, folks, because I don't want to be drinking in the middle of the week no more. So, all right. Peace.